Are you tired of sick or dying fish? Then you need a quarantine tank. Keep watching as I show you how to make a quick and easy quarantine tank that will save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache in the long run. Just a heads up, my quarantine tank is in the bathroom, so apologies about the slight echo. Hi, my name is Irene with Aquarium Co-op, and when I was a beginner, I did all my research. I knew about all the benefits of quarantine, how separating all your new fish before they enter into your main tank can save them from spreading any outbreak of disease. So when I got my first balloon mollies, I went ahead and put them in a quarantine tank, and then because of cross-contamination, I accidentally spread the columnares that they had to all of the fish in my display tank, which all died within 1 week. Pretty depressing, and it actually made me quit the hobby for almost 1 year. So to make this quarantine tub over here, the first thing you'll need is obviously a plastic tub. I got this one like a Sterilite or Rubbermaid from Walmart. You can also go with an aquarium, which will be better in many ways because you can more clearly see any symptoms the fish may have, but I went with a plastic tub because it's cheaper and lighter for storage. I also like marking off the number of gallons on the side of the tub, just so I can more easily and accurately know how much water I'm changing and how much medicine I'm dosing per gallons of water. You also want a tight-fitting lid to prevent any fish from jumping out and also to prevent water from evaporating as quickly. I went ahead and drilled some holes in the lid for airflow, as well as made a notch here so that my heater, cord, and airline tubing can come out of here. I like to keep the tub bare bottom just because it's easier to clean, and then having good water quality is very important, especially in a hospital tank. For filtration, I like to use the very simple basic sponge filter just because the flow is so gentle. It's really good for sick fish that might not be able to fight that current. Now, a question I often get is, how do you keep it cycled between the times when you set up your quarantine tank? And the easy answer is I normally keep 2 sponge filters running in one of my established aquariums. Whenever I need to set up my hospital tank, I go ahead and take out the second sponge filter, put it in here. After quarantine is done, I'm going to disinfect and sanitize everything in here, and then I'm going to put this sponge factor back in with my established tank and let it regrow all that beneficial bacteria. And then next time it'll be ready and waiting for when I need to set up another hospital tank. As for temperature, I definitely recommend getting an adjustable heater so that you can raise or lower the temperature depending on what the treatment requires. And then I have a bunch of fake decor in here, very simple so that the fish have comfortable places to hide. Normally, I would not recommend any live plants, as you can see in the corner, just because if you have to dose aquarium salt in here, it's definitely going to kill those plants off. Now, if you're new to this channel, you know that I will definitely recommend dosing all new fish with our quarantine medication trio. And basically what that is a trio of broad spectrum medications that go after bacterial, fungal, and parasitic infections. Kind of like giving your new puppy or kitten vaccinations before they come home. Same thing, we want to give our fish a clean bill of health before they get involved with any of the other fish in our main display aquariums. And I'm going to put a link in the description if you're interested in getting those products. Now, if you can't buy them because your country doesn't allow those medications, the next best thing is aquarium salt. Again, I'll link in the description a detailed article on how to use it for quarantine or any other medication. After you're done with the quarantine medication trio, which you typically don't feed the fish during that period, I like to give them a lot of mostly frozen foods just because it's so nutritionally dense, and also it's very clean. And if there's any uneaten food, it's really easy to remove it and it doesn't melt or dissolve into the water. Okay, I mentioned in the beginning of the story that my problem was not necessarily not having a quarantine tank, but actually cross-contamination. So you'll notice that I have this quarantine tank in a bathroom, and it's in a totally separate area than the rest of my main display tanks. I also use separate nets, separate siphons, also kept in separate rooms from my main display tank, equipment there. Do lots and lots of hand washing. A lot of times you can accidentally carry droplets of water from one tank to another if you're not careful. And then finally, when I'm done using this quarantine tank, I take the whole tub and everything, like first I drain out all the water, then I take the tub and everything in it that's in it and I disinfect it in my bathtub using hot water. You can use chlorine or bleach. I have bleach and I use like a 10% solution and have everything soaking for 10 minutes. Let everything dry completely and then I just pack it away and store it in my basement. Also, if you want to be really extra, what you can do is after the 4 to 6 weeks are over, go ahead and get 2 healthy fish from your regular tank and then put them in here and see what happens. Sometimes the fish that were in quarantine either don't show any symptoms or they're kind of semi-immune to whatever disease is in here, and then you put another species from another tank in here and they will develop the disease. So it's just another level of caution if you really want to go there. So going back to my original story with the balloon mollies, 2 years after the first batch died, I went ahead and decided, you know what? I want to try this species again. So I got a new batch of mollies, and what do you know? 1 month into quarantine, one of the females totally got fungus all over her body. It was like eating away at her fins. It was totally gross. Thankfully, they were in quarantine. It didn't spread to anything else, so I was able to put a bunch of aquarium salt in there, totally cure her. She made a full recovery and ended up having babies, which are now in my main display tank. After going through the nightmare of a fast-killing disease like Columnaris, I honestly don't mind having my fish in a quarantine tank for so long. It allows me to spend a little one-on-one time with them, right? So best of luck with your new fish, and I'll see you next time.